Welcome to Chamber Exchange, the TV show. My name is Tim Murray, President and CEO of the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. And Chamber Exchange is a TV show where we have guests that talk about issues of economic development and public policy. And we want to thank our sponsors who help make the show happen. We've got the Worcester Railers Hockey Club, who are playing some great hockey right now. Get down to the DCU Center and watch them play some terrific hockey in a family-friendly atmosphere in Bank Hometown. Both of those sponsors make the show happen. Thrilled to have with us on this segment my colleague at the Chamber, our Economic Development and Business Recruitment Associate, David Sullivan.
Hi, Tim. How's it going?
Good. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's
Day. As we tape, it's
Yep.
St. Patrick's Day. But David, you co-authored along with Bradford Thornburg, who is a Economic Development Fellow and Clark University Master's student, a study, if you will, on condominiums. And that study that you did, or report, I think that report, Condo report, was really an extension of a very in-depth housing study that the Chamber did in 2019, where we looked at the needs of Worcester and Central Massachusetts as it relates to housing, given the growing population. The Condo report drilled down on the issues of condominiums. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, certainly. So, like you said, in 2019, the Chamber published a housing study, which kind of took a pretty comprehensive view at what the housing market looked like in the city, what the opportunities were, but also what the challenges were. So the study found that there was significant obstacles to making sure that we were producing enough housing to keep up with our population growth.
And when we say housing of all types.
Right. So, apartments, both market rate and affordable, and also luxury, single family homes, and condos, right? So there's a lot of development happening right now with apartments. Maybe a couple months ago, I was writing about how there's 2,300 new units of rental housing that was coming online or had come online the past 12 months in the city. But now that's already jumped up to 3,000. Right. So we're producing a lot. Which
is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Almost 3,000 units of housing that are recently completed in construction now or in the pipeline. Right. In terms of being already permitted. Right.
So it's there's a lot of momentum happening there, which is great. We're a city. We require rental housing to help meet the demands of our population, which is now over 200,000
right.
people. The problem, though, is that for condos specifically, we only have about 5,000 units of condos.
And what's the
in
total
city.
Number of units of housing in the city?
Close to 80,000. So it's about 6% of the total. So this is resulting in a lower home ownership rate for the city. We already had issues with housing production, and condos are a great way for people to be able to break into the home ownership market from rental.
And so, in going back to the 2019 housing study, which is on the Chamber website, worcesterchamber.org,
yep.
One of the things that came out of that is we have a lower percentage of home ownership in the city of Worcester than similar sized cities.
Yep.
In the condominium, and one of the reasons we went down, asked you and Bradford to take a look at the whole condominium piece is that's an opportunity, an affordable access point for home ownership. Yeah,
right, exactly. So condos, the median price in Worcester hovers around $200,000, which is half of the median price statewide. So in Worcester, we have great price points for people who are looking to buy a condo to get into home ownership. When you're a homeowner, you unequivocally across all income levels, you spend less on your housing costs than you would if you rented. And that was something that the Worcester Regional Research Bureau found also in 2019. So we know that the costs of living in a condo are less, and it's a great way to encourage investment in the community, because studies also show that when there's more home ownership in a community, by and large, every metric of educational outcomes, crime and public safety, everything is improved. So it makes a better community.
Ownership, literally and figuratively. And the other piece, you mentioned over 80,000 units of housing in the city, single-family homes, apartments, condos, three families, the whole gamut. But about 6% of those are condos, so it's about nearly 5,000 condominiums exist in the city.
Right, yeah. So A big part of the report was trying to encourage just more condo development in general. I think you mentioned it, that we have a lower homeownership rate than other cities our size. In 2020, Worcester had the 14th lowest homeownership rate out of any mid-sized city in the U.S., which is pretty significant. And urban areas are going to rent more than own, but for us, we really need to encourage more condo developments across the city, especially downtown, where we only have about 600 units.
And the issue with homeownership, you mentioned, the array of benefits in terms of strengthening neighborhoods, et cetera, but for an individual or family, it's a way to really build wealth and kind of strengthen their own economic, security, and so that they've got building equity with each payment. Those are dollars there for potentially send a child to school, retirement, et cetera. So it also builds wealth for a family.
Yeah, homeownership is a really great way to build generational wealth in families, and so especially when we're looking at families of color who have traditionally faced barriers to getting mortgages, to getting homes because of credit scores and other barriers. We see that condos specifically are a great way for them to be able to break into the market.
So similar to what we did with the 2019 housing report, we took that report and we've shared that with a number of developers. Several developers cited that housing study that the Chamber did as a factor, a catalyst in them going forward and building housing. Mm-hmm. We're hoping to do the same thing with the condo report, but also you recently facilitated at the Chamber of Commerce's Real Estate Roundtable. We hosted Crystal Cornegay, who is Executive Director of Mass Housing, to talk about a program that Mass Housing, which is a quasi-state agency, they receive some funding from the state, but also on some of the loans and things that they do. But they've got a specific program to incentivize developers to build condos at affordable price points. Why don't you just give us a little bit of information on that?
Yeah, so the program plays a pretty important role in what we're proposing in the report as potential solutions to the condo issue in the city. So Commonwealth Builder is the program. And it's run by Mass Housing, as you said. So we had Crystal Cornegay and her team come by and talk to developers, construction firms, property management firms, and others interested in the city. And so we had to sit down and talked about the eligibility requirements. Essentially, it's encouraging the development of workforce housing units for condos for homeownership opportunities. So that's in the area of like 60 to 120% of the area median income that household is earning, then they would qualify. So it's intended to really promote more affordable home ownership opportunities, especially with a racial equity lens, which is really important. And it just fills such an important need here in Worcester. I mean, it's geared for gateway cities like Worcester, so it's really important that we start these conversations.
And it's a relatively new program. There's been 2 examples of where it's been utilized in Boston, one in Haverhill. We had a number of developers, real estate developers, at the Real Estate Roundtable to learn about this program. Yeah.
So we're talking with developers all the time, and I'm trying to encourage more condo development. And I think we have some interest out there. People definitely see the need. Traditionally, it's been an issue with financing. So because our market rates are so low for condos, it's difficult for developers to be able to, pencil out and make those construction projects work. But with Commonwealth Builder, it's a little different because they get subsidies of up to $150,000 per unit in order to build affordable. So
a $400,000 unit, $150,000 subsidy, condo that could sell at $250,000, much more affordable than some of the single-family home rates right now in the city.
Right.
Yeah. And so I mentioned the housing studies on our website. I'm pretty sure that our condo report is on the website, right? worcesterchamber.org.
Yep.
And thank you, David. Great. You guys, you and Bradford did a great job on the report, and we're just thrilled to have it as a tool to hopefully encourage more investment, development, home ownership, people in the construction trades working. So good work.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay with us. We're going to come right back on this edition of Chamber Exchange, a TV show.
These days, you've got your hands full in life. That's why we help you bank simply and securely with tools like Face ID and Touch ID. It's why we make it easy to make purchases on the go and get cash back while you're at it. Why we help you quickly deposit checks wherever you are. And it's why we lend a hand with sending and receiving money right from your phone. So even when you're on the move, you can manage your finances. Bank Hometown. Unlock your potential.
being associated with the Railers and being a part has been awesome, and it's been a lot of fun.
I think my students' initial reactions is my favorite part. Their eyes get really wide and they're in awe.
And then you have the excitement of hockey, and you have that anticipation in the air. You know, the crowd getting into it. It's fun.